Welcome to Slough House, a podcast about Apple TV Plus's show Slow Horses, Season 5. We are talking about Episode 3. My name is Catfish, and with me, as always, is someone who will react violently if you don't let him record music or podcast. No, it's just podcasts. It's Bubba.
Catfish, we are
Yep.
talking about episode 3,
Yeah,
Tall
I said that.
Tales. We are at the
Yeah.
midway point of Slow Horses season 5.
Oh my
This is
God.
very exciting. An act of
And sad.
sabotage grinds London to a halt. Taverner interrogates Roddy. Coe is convinced a destabilisation strategy is at play. On this podcast, Catfish, you are
Yep.
always running a destabilization ploy. So we're going to have to see how we go. Very interesting. We were both a bit, and I mean a minor bit down on the premiere episode. I think we were both through the moon over the second episode. I'm very thrilled to see what rating you're going to give to this episode 3, which brings us to the midpoint of the season. What is your rating for Tall Tales?
All right, Bubba, I am going to give this 9.5, what I
Whoa!
like to call double B's.
Double B's.
Yeah, bathroom boomers. And as we all know, this has a double meaning if you've
Double
got a
meaning.
gun in the bathroom or you drop a bomb in the
Oh
bathroom.
my Lord.
9.5, so much
Whoa.
deliciousness,
Is
outsmarting
that
the dog.
Catfish? I gotta cut you off. Is
Yep,
that a higher rating than you gave episode 2?
I think I'm
Wow.
supposed to remember a whole week. I loved it. There was so much deliciousness. The outsmarting of the dogs, the amazing lamb story. Holy cow. And
Great.
Ho's complete denial of reality. Is there anyone, Bubba? I'm gonna in the middle of my discussion, I'm gonna ask you a question. Is
Yeah.
there any female that Ho will not flirt with?
If she
Yeah.
wants it, the true king of Gondor is going to offer it up. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my God. I love the idiocy of Shirley. And Bubba,
What?
this was something I was like, oh, they're going to have to get these guys out of here. But we spent most of the episode here. Bubba, this is as close to a bottle episode as we've
Mm,
gotten on this series. And I thought it was phenomenal. A little
mm.
bit, you know what? Perhaps it's just me. I'm going to ding them a little bit for. I know the dogs are just sort of supposed to follow directions, but like even me, and maybe it's because I'm on their side, I was completely convinced. I mean, Ko is laying these steps out, and boom, 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 they're happening. Even Lamb believes them, and the
Oh my
woman's like,
God.
"No, I'm not going to let you talk to anybody." I
Right.
mean, come on, but
What could it hurt
realistic.
to call Devin
I
Wells?
know.
Let's
I
go.
know. Give him a call. You know what? What's funny is that as we see, these losers and bums are more on top of things than the actual park. Bubba,
Losers and bums. Yeah.
Bubba, who cares about me and my awesome rating, which everyone
Not
agrees
me.
with? What
Not
is
me.
your rating?
Well, Catfish 9.5 higher than episode 2, I
Hmm.
don't agree with. I think that's crazy.
Oh
I
my God.
think you are missing what this episode was. It was a bit
Okay.
of a bottle episode. It was
Yes.
move characters from point A to point B, in some ways an interesting fashion, in some ways a kind of dry fashion.
Yeah, but there
So
were some double P's, Bubba.
I didn't enjoy those double Ps.
Phenomenal funnies. There was great funnies, and then also seriously, that story by Lamb, amazing. Come on, all right, okay, go ahead. I'm so discouraged. You know what? Maybe I'm more up on this episode because I'm not with you this week, and so I'm feeling more up.
Since you're not here, I should be happier. But
You
instead,
should.
I got to pay attention to the episode, which I thought
Oh,
was good. So I'm giving it a solid 7 double T's out of 10.
double T. Oh, no, wait. What's double T?
Toilet troubles. When Jackson Lamb outsmarts the dog, when the slow horses outsmart the dogs and then leaves, I love it. But just as enjoyable,
Yeah.
the antagonist has to be a challenge or it's too easy. So the fact that Devin Wells got over on Jackson Lamb trying to get that gun in the toilet tank, I loved it. I
Okay,
love
so
that just
what's
as much as the escape. What this was not a, for our heroes, all the slow horses, none of them were men of action. You know, they weren't really moving forward. The movement forward was from the top floor to the street. That just isn't enough movement for me. I think this is a great, very focused story,
Mhm.
but it still feels like if I was doing this like on a story chart, we haven't begun the climb to the climax. It feels like we're still here at the beginning, setting the stage so we can get on the action to the
Well, we're only
climax. And then
halfway through. I
that's the
don't
point. We're
know.
halfway through and we're not even on the upward ascent.
Oh, we
I
are
have
in
a
the upward
problem.
descent. The slow horses are activated. You know what? I'm sorry Jackson Lamb didn't go to the bathroom because perhaps that's the movement
That would
you're
have been
looking for.
active. That would have been an active thing instead of going to the bathroom and doing nothing for a couple of, for what, 10 minutes, whatever it was. That's what it felt like watching it. This show
All
is
right.
great. There are a lot of highs that I'm going to
Yes.
mention in the episode review, but this still felt like the engine isn't revving. This felt like I had to do this before I could rev the engine and shoot the rocket to the moon. The rocket hasn't left.
You know what? You are all about, you are bored unless it is fireworks factory all
You,
the time.
me,
You
me, you're
demand the
like, you killed
double
20
P.
penguins and suddenly I'm very excited. You're like, animal cruelty, catfish, 10 out of 10. That's all he needs. That is all he needs. And I won't
You know
stand
what? Those
for it.
penguins were saved
They
from a
deserved
whole.
it.
I don't think the weather in the zoo was. I think that was cruel and unusual punishment to the penguins. Better to put them out of their misery. You heard it right here. I'm all for mercy killing of penguins. Yeah, put it on. Put it on Snapchat, Bubba. Let's
Let's
do
go.
this.
Let's
All
go.
right, but now, Bubba, speaking of
Yeah.
Snapchat, but let's speak about other things. We are begging for you to
Begging.
join us on
Oh,
this
yeah.
trip for us. How do you do it? You contact us at double PHQ. Then we are on all social media sites at double PHQ. If you're on YouTube, smash like, subscribe, give us comments. We love reading comments on this show. Join us on all the social media. And hey, especially tell Bubba that he is so down on this episode that he is RONG wrong.
That is how they spell it in the UK. Thank you for that, Catfish. And once again, Catfish loved this
Mhm.
episode.
I did
I was a bit down on it. We
a
love to
bit.
say, who cares what we think? What's important is that what you think, and you joining us on this journey. And Catfish, we
Hmm.
are arguing an awful lot,
Yeah.
and so I say, let's get to something that can have a definitive answer. This
Okay.
is
Let's. Oh
subjective. Was the
yeah. Yeah.
episode great?
Absolutely.
Was the episode a little slow?
Yeah.
This is a definitive answer.
Got it.
Who are the terrorists going to target next week? Are they going to target current mayor Jaffrey, who is there
Hmm.
at the debate site, or are they going to target, challenger, rabble rouser, challenger Gimbal? Who do you think? It seemed like the slow horses think that the terrorists are going to target a populist leader, and a populist in this case is Gimbal. Who do you got? Who do you got for next week's episode?
Well, Bubba, I
Yeah.
want to say this. The our mayor, our
The incumbent Joffrey?
evil Nate, I think from I think last week he seemed pretty cool. This week he seems not cool at all. We find out
Hmm.
that like Andy Reid, not a great father. And but I
Deep cut.
think
Deep cut there.
deep cut. All right. I
Yeah.
think, and maybe this is just because the world we're living in,
All right.
I think they're going to target Gimbal, but as a fake out to get sympathy for Gimbal, and also the kind of thing, we're seeing
Whoa.
now. I'm going to break everything and then say, only I can fix it. Gimbal's going to be like, people are coming after me. Oh, the poor penguins, mercy killing, all this stuff. The present mayor cannot handle this. So I think Gimbal is behind it, but they're going to attack Gimbal. What about you? Now you can give, as you said, this has a real answer, and I got it right. So now you tell your wrong answer.
Even if they wanted to target Gimbal, they would
Hmm.
have planned to attack Gimbal at the debate. But since the debate isn't happening and Gimbal isn't there, I
Hmm.
think there's only one choice, and that's Mayor Joffrey. I think if you're Gimbal and you are behind this, which I
Hmm.
question if Gimbal or his wife Dodie really are
Okay,
behind
fine.
this, I question if now the reveal is that the mayor's own son was behind this eco terrorism of destroying all the petrol. I think you almost don't have to do anything. this mayor, he can't keep our city safe. He can't even keep his son in line. I think Gimble, in some ways, is one. So I do think they're going to target Mayor Jaffrey. Let me go big picture here, Catfish. People will be able to
Go
guess
as
from
big as you
my
want.
people will guess from my accent that
Mhm.
I'm from Devon. I'm from a lot of places in England, but no, I'm
Uh-huh,
actually an
uh-huh, uh-huh.
American. And
Oh,
so
okay.
I haven't read this book. I always mention
Spoiler
I've
alert.
always mentioned that I've only read the first book in the Slough House
Right,
series.
right, right.
But I have heard that this season was a bit based around the time that the EU referendum was happening in the UK. Pull out of the EU or stay in the
Got it,
EU,
got it.
and that I believe you would almost say Gimble is maybe a Boris Johnson type. Or sorry, who was the other candidate? I'm maybe getting this messed up. Maybe Farage. I forget. I'm going to mess my British politicians up. I apologize.
What a shame for a British, for someone with British citizenship to mess
Yeah,
this up.
down there in Devon. And so I wonder
Yeah,
how close this would be. I wonder if this season is setting up a somebody who seems like he just wants to watch the world burn, Gimble, if this is setting up how he does become mayor. So I don't know, that may be influencing my vote, but I'm going to guess for Jaffrey. And one of us will be right
me.
next week. One of
I'm
us
gonna
will
be
be
right
right
next
next
week.
week.
I'm gonna
Listeners,
be right, and you can't
listeners,
give
who
me
do
a
you
hard time
agree with?
anymore.
Do you agree with Catfish that these evil terrorists are going to target Gimble, or do you agree with
But
the
it's a
true
fake out.
hero of this podcast, Bubba, and vote that Mayor Jaffrey is going to almost be the default target because he's the only one at the debate
How
site?
did you become the default hero of this podcast? I don't believe it. And in fact, to
What?
prove that you are not,
Proof.
we're going to play one of the great games that I came up
Great.
with this year, Double O.
Double O?
Oldman's O levels, and by O level, we don't mean school, we mean his olfactory level. We are going to pick a scene in every episode
Hmm.
where you can practically smell him, except for people who have lost their sense of smell due to COVID, aka Bubba, and also just through craziness. You can smell it, and so we'll pick a scene and describe what it smelled like. Bubba, do you want to go first this time and try to steal my answer, or do you want me to go first?
I was very excited about
Hmm.
season 5 coming back for Slow Horses. I just knew after a bit of a dip with season 4,
Right?
Slow Horses was going to come out of the gates great. So I did listen to a little bit of
Hmm.
pre-season 5 press.
Love
And
it.
everybody was talking about the gas scene, and I don't mean the petrol scene, I mean the gas scene in this episode, where it slowly around the room there in Slough House
Hmm.
people started smelling Jackson's terrible release of noxious fumes. And they were very hyped about it. They were like, this is one of our favorite terrible stench scenes that we've ever done. And in a lot of ways, it lived up to it. Like, it lived up to it. I wanted more characters to gag. I wanted one of those super strong dogs who's like, I will take a bullet for you, Prime Minister, to be like, okay, I'm out. This is terrible. But I love that scene, so that's going to be my choice.
Uh-huh.
Catfish, I want to offer up to you. We keep saying that we go
Hmm.
Oldman, so we're implying Gary Oldman, the actor who plays
Yep.
Jackson Lamb, but it doesn't have to be that character. It can be any character's scent. It can be Shirley sniffing that delicious Coke. So who are you going to go with this week?
I'm gonna go with that scene,
Oh,
and it was very evocative for me
for you.
because it wasn't just that I got a smell, Bubba. I was transported
Oh no.
to another time in my life.
Uh-oh.
A few years ago, I
Yeah.
was at Burning Man, and it was too wet for anyone to come in
Okay.
or go out.
Sure.
And so, therefore, for about 3 days, they did not come in with the trucks to empty the porta potties.
Oh no.
And so
Oh
that
no.
was the smell that I was brought back to in the scene when someone was like, you need to go to a doctor, and I think you just gave me lung cancer. That's what I was
Whoa.
transported to. Burning Man with the porta potties full to the brim, Bubba, full to the brim.
Boy, when you describe stories like that, I'm
Hmm.
surprised that our podcast isn't downloaded like 500,000 times. Like, that is something that people love hearing on a
People,
podcast.
it's evocative, Bubba.
No wonder Coe doesn't want to take out his earphones when people are telling a story like that. It's just too gripping. I'm not going to ask listeners to please take us to the Burning Man porta potty problem. It's don't
Transport us,
transport us.
listeners,
Stay here. Stay here.
transport
Oh my
us.
gosh. No, I don't want to edit that out entirely. No, that was so deep, deep,
All
deep
right,
memory.
Bubba. Well, let's cleanse our palate then
Please
with
God.
the Triple L
The triple
Lamb's
L.
luscious lines. Now, Gary
Oh,
Oldman has some great lines here.
he
Jackson Lamb,
does.
great lines. But just like you were offering with the smell, as if anyone is ever going to beat Lamb with a smell, there
Hmm.
are some people who sometimes come up with luscious lines who aren't Lambs. So here are my proposals for this episode, Bubba.
Let's hear him.
When the dogs ask, "Where's Shirley?" Lamb says, "In the loo. She's either shoveling one up or curling one out."
Oh, no, terrible.
I have got hose, whole prison rant while he's
Yes.
alone in
Just
the
do it. The
box,
whole thing.
just
Just do
all
it.
by himself. And when Taverner comes in and he says, "What?" Host says, "Welcome, Clarice."
It's so good.
And then the two lines I mentioned before, I really think you should see a doctor, and I think you gave me lung cancer. So, Bubba, what is your lamb's luscious line for episode 3?
Everything Roddy says, or excuse me, should I say Clint Wolf, Dragon Slayer, the human tripod, the true king of Gondor, or my personal favorite, Ice Monroe. Everything he says is practically gold in this episode. But the one that actually made me giggle the most
Uh-huh.
is a lamb line. It's a lamb luscious line. Devin is escorting him to the downstairs bathroom, and they're having a little back and forth. And Devin just can't keep up. And Lowe's very cutting. This banter stuff is harder than it looks because she can't keep up with the witticisms. I chuckled. I loved it. It was a great moment in a okay to good episode. That's mine. Do you have one, Catfish? Do you have one?
You're still trying to twist my nipples with the low rating of this episode. Bubba, we forgot to mention that
We
Lamb's fart
we forgot to mention.
was tactical. It was a tactical fart, so he
Sure.
could go down to the bathroom to
Okay.
reclaim the gun. That is an amazing control of his bodily excretions. I will
Okay.
put it that way.
Sure.
But I will say, I've got to say, what I laughed at the most was Ho's whole monologue when no one was
So
in the
good.
box with him. I mean, you said you got a chuckle. I was laughing at every single line he was doing there. I'm just like, bravo, Ho, bravo. That's my lamb's luscious lines of the week. All right, so
Listeners,
now it's,
listeners,
yep.
if something made you laugh more, if something made you, chuckle more, if something chilled you more, and some of the
Oh,
lines in this episode, we are talking about horrific terrorist attack that Catfish doesn't mind kill innocent creatures. Please reach out to us if you're on YouTube. Go
suffering.
down in the
They were
comments.
suffering.
Let us know on social media at WPHQ. Now, Catfish,
Yep.
what I'm going to talk about the storylines in this episode, and
Great.
I want you to tell me your favorite. So there was Roddy Ho in the Fright Cube. That's one storyline. We have
Mm.
this sabotage Petrol plot and the dealings with it at the park. We got more on the Whelan scandal. We have the terrorists, a little bit of them. We have the slow horses escape Slough House, and we have the mayor's race. Which was your favorite? Which was your least favorite of all those little storylines that
All
hit
right.
in this episode?
My least favorite is the mayor's race.
Okay.
I don't really care that much about the people. I understand why it's there because it's the larger someone's trying to affect a political race, so that's
We
a big
assume, yeah.
deal, right? But for me, I mean, I just again the hashtag hero of this episode, his Roddy Ho. Again, I mean, this is the second in command of the organization that he is very, very low on the chain with. And DGAF, he does give a flirt
Oh boy.
to Taverner full on. It's my favorite. I love it.
Did you have a favorite movie reference. Now, you mentioned, the welcome, Clarice. To me, I thought maybe he was pulling a Judge Dredd, which I know is also a comic where he says, "I
Mhm.
am the law." He likes Magnolia, which I think is a bad sign. Or Tom Cruise's character in
Well,
Magnolia.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
that's
yeah. That's
these
understandable.
are pretty rough.
Understandable.
Any favorite movie reference from Roddy, and or should we just jump to the seriousness of this? And I thought when he is hacking into MI5's database, then leaves it up while his girlfriend is there, I think in a lot of ways, Roddy, you're about to be charged with treason. This is a light, fun show. We imagine Roddy will be back at Slough House and everything, hunky dory. He should be charged. He should be charged with something and thrown in prison.
Absolutely. He should never be seen or
Yeah.
heard from again. Brings up a good point. I always assumed that it was just bravado on Roddy's part, but now I just wonder if he absolutely believes every single
Oh my
thing he
Lord.
says,
Oh my
right? I mean, because
Lord.
you think he's just puffing himself up, but he does not give on the girlfriend.
No.
He doesn't understand what he did wrong. I mean, it's not. We always assumed he was down here, down at the slow horses just due to sexism. No, there is. He should not be let anywhere near any secrets whatsoever.
Now, Taverner comes in. As you correctly point out, when she first comes in, he is
Hmm.
full of BS. Full disclosure, I'm a very sexual creature. Listen, I know you don't torture people. I've looked at the book, so why don't you just come at the king head on? He is so full of bluster. So many of the slow horses through all these seasons, what is their goal?
Hmm.
Their goal is to get back at the park, get back and feel like a real agent again, a real spy. And Roddy, that isn't going through his head at all.
No, no, he's
Not at
never
all.
once said it. No, not like everybody else. No.
So Taverner leaves him alone. She comes back and she kind of, you know, is dropping straight facts at him. She's saying, listen, Tara was a honey trapper. She lied to you. She manipulated you. Does it ever really get through Roddy's head? And I'm not
No,
sure.
no,
I'm not
because
sure. I'm not sure it does. I think there is a hint where he's like, there's no way she could have done it. Well, maybe when I left, to get pizza at the door, but that's 20 seconds. Like at the end of this
no one is as
episode,
good as me. And also, he says she fell in love with her target. That's
oh
why
my
they were
Lord.
targeting her.
Right.
Roddy, Roddy.
Is there any chance, I'm not going to say fell in love, but is there any chance Tara at the end almost did feel a bit sorry for him? Like did be like, well, Catfish, you're silent on an audio podcast. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. No, I don't think so.
All right. Where do you see this storyline going?
Well, I mean, if we're to believe that there's two things that Roddy is good for, his hot body, so maybe a fling when you see him at the club. And
Yeah.
number two, the only thing that's kept him around is he's really good at computer stuff. So hopefully, somehow he uses his skills to get back in good graces. That's the only conceivable way he doesn't end up in a very deep and dark hole for 30 years.
Right. There were times where I'm like, as a human being, I am against torture. But at this one case, no, I'm kidding. He was just so terrible. So terrible. All right. So we're going from the
Magnificent.
high and the
Hmm.
silliness that this show
Yeah.
can do. Let's get to the seriousness and this
All right.
petrol sabotaging plot. Their cars, I didn't quite understand exactly what was happening. I thought at the end of last week, like, okay, we're gonna put this one dead car here, and then we're gonna blow up an oil tank or something. But no, what it was is we're gonna sabotage all this petrol, and we're gonna block traffic and emergency services. Are you kidding me? All around London. Taverner is frustrated. She's like, why didn't anybody tell me? I have to find out from the news. Wayland, first desk, is helpless. And then Taverner, in a bit, turns away from it because she wants to go to Roddy. She thinks, I assume this
Who
is just,
doesn't?
she assumes this is a one time thing. It's over. why is she wasting time with Roddy in some ways? Is it just because she knows the Abbotsfield shooting is the bigger priority than maybe, some petrol prank?
Well, it's part of the reason why I ding this episode a little bit
You
is
only
that
dinged at point 0.5, Catfish. It was the
that's
most
right, I
minor.
said a little bit
Okay.
because the the park is taking the attack on Roddy seriously, but they're
Yes.
not putting it together along with a lot of other things. It's only our boy Co, the our podcast enthusiast, who has put this together, and the rest of Slough House is doing it. So they're not seeing a bigger picture here, which is a little strange.
100%. Let's go ahead and get to Whelan Scandal. There isn't much of it, but that
Good.
creepy reporter Carl, last week, Doty said, "Hey, do you think you could get his phone? How can a reporter get the first desk of MI5's cell phone number?" Who knows? He got it. He wants a comment on this story, and he is talking trash. He's like, if
Maybe he asked Roddy for it.
yeah, right. Except Roddy gives away everything else. That's a good point. But Carl talking to the head of MI5 saying, if you weren't so busy chasing skirt, maybe we wouldn't have mass shootings and gridlock.
And
Ouch.
Whelan's like, no fair. I
Ouch.
haven't chased skirt in a full 24 hours.
Right. There is no correct amount of chasing skirt for Wayland. Wayland is so concerned about this. And once again, this is happening. He knows about the Petrol attack. He's taking time out of his busy day to go talk with legal counsel, Catfish. He
Yes,
wants a D
he's
notice
like
put on someone. Ooh.
he's like, let me give you a hypothetical, and the legal counsel's like, no, I don't want to hear this hypothetical.
No.
Please, please. Oh my God. Okay, you're telling me the hypothetical.
Listen,
Sweet Jesus, how did this dumb guy?
these scandalous lies, which are untrue lies, the worst kind of lies, they're going to be coming my way. How do we stop it? How do we fight it?
Bubba, how does who does Waylon know? I mean, he is
Yeah.
barely scraping by at the head of this department. Who did he know to get this gig? I think it just proves again the real power's behind the throne, and Taverner should stay where she is,
No,
as I've been
what?
pushing.
This knucklehead being in charge? No. You say he's a political animal? He's a failed political animal if he can't cover up chasing skirt in Copenhagen. Come on, one
I
time.
agree, but how did this moron rise to the top? That's what I'm saying. He's got to know somebody because he's clearly not skilled enough to have gotten this job on
All
merit.
right, well
That's all I'm
let's
saying.
guess who he knows. Is it King Charles? Prince William?
No, no, keep going.
Um, Princess Margaret?
No, no, keep going.
Princess Anne?
No,
You still all right, how about Meghan Markle?
no, Prince Andrew.
Prince Andrew. Oh wait, I think I meant Angela Merkel, and instead of Meghan, Harry and Meghan. Oh, I've messed up. Oh, Prince Andrew. Oh no, this is a big scandal. Wayland's really got to run, Prince Andrew. Oh my God, Fergie is going to
Oh
be off
man.
Weight Watchers when this goes down. This is some serious
Oh my
scandal.
God. You know what?
But
That is magnificent. I did not expect a 30-year-old reference from you, but bang, bang, we got
Double
it.
M and I covered the crown. I've got them. They're coming.
All right, excellent. All right, so now let's go to the terrorists.
Yeah.
Holy cow, Bubba.
Mm.
They are happy with the fuel tampering. As you said, I was also confused. I thought they were going to blow up a whole thing with that
Yeah.
tank. Somehow they poisoned the gas, and so
Well,
when
well,
it
well,
got delivered
let me
and it
freeze
got
you. Let me freeze you for a minute here, Catfish. Do you remember Coe's steps? So step one was obviously the shooting in Ebbets Field, but the question was what did that accomplish? Scare them, get them frightened? Step two,
you know,
which this is what? Is continue frightening them? I can't remember
I
what
thought
Coe
it was
said.
no, I thought it was gridlock. I
Oh, okay,
think that's what
gridlock.
he said. It was gridlock.
Okay. Well, sorry. Oh, actually, I'm looking at this right now. Coe pointed out that the petrol sabotage was item 3 on his destabilization list. So I'm already missing one.
Yes, you
Yeah.
are. But I believe that that item was gridlock.
Episode 4 is Seize the Media. And you are right. Hiring a beggar to bring a thermos into the zoo to kill penguins, that is going to seize the media. Even in this country, in
Wow.
whatever country you're in, a beggar blowing up penguins and, the safest place in the world, the place you take your children, the London Zoo, for God's sakes, that is crazy. There
Well,
is,
I mean, I know we're mentioning the penguins, but how come we saw, but nobody mentioned about was it a tiger or a lion that was out? I would feel like that would be like top of mind before we get to the penguins. A
okay.
wild cat is loose.
Once again, what do you think? And I think you've kind of already hinted at it, but
Mhm.
what do you think are these terrorists' specific goals? Obviously, they want to destabilize England. Why? Why do you want to destabilize the UK?
Well, that's interesting. I can only assume, and I mean, I hate to do this, but they've portrayed the real people
Hmm.
as being outsiders, not a part of England,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah,
So
well, you
you would
say that.
think
That's
that
funny.
it's
You say that because they do speak Arabic, but
right.
the one who recruited the beggar in the streets, I thought he spoke, what I would consider as kind of natural London English.
Right. No, no, I understand that, but it does feel like they are trying to tell
Hmm.
us
Yeah,
that this is an ethnic thing and
right.
that it is somebody trying to destabilize London for another country's purposes.
Okay.
Right? At least it feels like they're trying to pitch us that by the way they have cast these people. That's all I'm saying.
And I mentioned how I felt even in season one, where they were kind of the villains of the piece, the people who had kidnapped the young gentleman, they were kind of the worst of the worst, but they did occasionally try to make you sympathize with them. These terrorists were at the halfway point. I don't have any sympathy with them. By
Well, because we
doing the
don't,
Abbotsfield
yeah.
shooting, they don't deserve any.
Well, I mean, you say that, but I feel like you can always maybe drum up some sympathy for people if you know what they're doing.
Okay.
If you know why they're doing something. We have no idea why they're doing this. So therefore, we can't have any sympathy for them.
All right. Okay, well let's jump away from them for a bit and let's go to the meat of the episode is almost all our main characters are trapped in Lamb's office in the top floor there in Slough House and they are getting the information freely. Emma Flight knows that her job is to lock down the slow horses,
Hmm.
but she has no problem talking about all these things in front of them. She's saying, and they're hearing about the fuel tampering. They are hearing all these things, and
This is the
she doesn't
Batman
care.
villain effect.
Yeah, well, in some ways, she's not really a villain, but if these guys are supposed to be, shut down, no communication, no computers, no
Yeah.
phones, why is she openly talking about this, ongoing situation in front of them? Of course, it's good for our heroes that they hear this information, but I even thought that was breaking a bit of protocol by Miss Flight.
I agree. And that's even before she abandons her post.
River tries to smartly alert Shirley. Even if she wasn't in traffic, there's a small chance that she's going to be, coked out of her mind. So this
I
really,
mean,
you know,
she's not great in this episode, Bubba. She
no.
even sees what's going on. She doesn't try to run, nothing. She's just like caught red-handed.
But then are we also in a different world to where, hey, Ko has the symptom, he deserves to keep his phone. Everybody else had to give up their phone, but he gets to keep his. This is crazy. To listen to a podcast, talk about the most important thing you can do in a
That's
terrorist
because
situation.
he is listening to this podcast, Bubba. That is
Finally,
right. He's listening to Slough House and he's like,
finally.
these guys got it all good, except for that one guy who's a real low rater.
Listen, I saw our downloads from near the Barbican Center and they have gone through the roof. Thank you, Ko. You have really helped us out there.
Love it, Ko. So Ko is on top of everything. You were like, earlier
Oh, I
this
want to
year,
get to
you're like,
this.
I'm
Yeah,
not,
go.
you're like, Co, I don't know, what's he even doing there? I don't have any kind of feelings for Co. So
I
what
don't
are your
have a
thoughts about him?
connection. I don't have a
Hmm.
connection with
Yep.
what I call the silent Bob character, somebody who doesn't say much, but he's always
Right.
there to kind of have the answer and say things. What's funny is in this episode, I think I realized maybe why that is. And that is Jackson Lamb is already playing this role. Jackson Lamb already figures everything out. Jackson Lamb already,
Okay.
is the role of, let me fart, let me drink, let me smoke, let me do whatever. Oh, yeah, by the way, this is what's going on. This is what we need to do. Do what I tell you to do. To have a second one who is not as eccentric and interesting as Lamb, that Co is, I'm going to need Co to use that push knife and do something of action for him to get in, for me to get him to be one of my favorite characters in the show. Right now, I mean, there aren't that many characters in the show. I'm not sure Co is in the top 10.
All right. Well, here's the thing.
Let's tell me.
They are really selling this
Yes,
that Co, if you push him too far, he's going to go ham on you.
I want
So
him to. Let's
it's going to
go.
happen, right? It's going to
Please.
happen this season. He is going to go ham on somebody. We've been warned.
What also happened, in addition to Flight giving up all this stuff about the Petrol sabotage, Jackson lets it known, hey, everybody, just so you know, the bullets from Roddy's apartment match the Abbotsfield executioner's bullets. And then once again, the whole team is like, wait a minute, executioner, I thought he shot himself. These guys who should get no information suddenly have almost all the information they need.
Well, they're giving you the information that you forgot, Bubba. It's catch up time for the audience.
Okay, get to your story. You love this story so much. It's a story about Berlin back in the old days, the true
Right.
Cold War, when
Right. And
us.
so he's talking about one of his guys who was brought in, and the Stasi made a blowtorch out of an aerosol can and a
Mm,
lighter.
mm,
The spy wouldn't give up the name, so they brought in the woman that he
that he
lived and loved,
loved her.
and they were torturing her. He
Mm.
didn't break, and then they realized, the Stasi, that he didn't give up the name because he didn't know the name. And
Oh,
Bubba,
oh, she
I don't
was
know, what
pregnant.
did
The love of his life was pregnant, Catfish. Why wouldn't you just throw out a fake name? I mean, oh my goodness.
well, Bubba, how
Yeah.
do you feel about the possible reveal, and it seems like this is real, that he was talking about himself? Do you believe that
Ooh,
Jackson
ooh.
Lamb would talk about himself, even if it
Or
was
what he
in his
told Catherine that this was all a made up story to get them to pay attention. And I
right,
love.
because they did use the aerosol can. River used the aerosol can, and he's like, "You idiots, finally listen to me."
Right. You lot were actually paying attention for once. F me. That it was so good. I think that there's probably some truth to the story. Maybe the whole story is true. Do I think he was the one being tortured? No, I don't.
All right, okay. I do like the idea of that. I don't think Jackson Lamb would actually give up that information, but it was a beautifully told story.
If you are Devin and the other
Hmm.
dog who was there, yes, they have a makeshift blowtorch and they're shooting flames at you. But you've got guns, man. They got taken out very easily. Now, I say that as a fire extinguisher to the face,
As a Sevener.
a wine, a wine bottle to your body and head is it's gonna hurt. It's gonna take you out. But you're supposed to be the best of the best, and they were not. They got taken out, and it's a true triumphant moment to see our crew walking down the stairs. And possibly
Love it.
Co, as much as I'm down on him,
Hmm.
him kind of showing tied up Devin. I'm putting in my headphones and listening to the end of the Slough House podcast. Gold. I love it. This is setting up the next episode.
Yep.
Our teams, Co and River, are going to be together as they go to Gimbal. And then we've got Catherine and Shirley as they head to the debate site and Mayor Jaffrey. Where do you think Jackson is going? You think he's going to the park to try to wise up Taverner? What would he be doing?
Oh, that would probably be a good idea to either that, or maybe he'll accost Whelan and force Whelan to tell Taverner,
Whoa, now
because he
that's
can't
a
get to
thought.
Taverner and anybody can get to Whelan apparently.
That is a thought. real quickly, we are going to have to touch on the mayor's race, which you
Let's
said
do
you're
it.
not that interested in. Jaffrey, we kind of saw it a bit in episode one. We see it a bit more here in episode two. He knows the right things to say in a political situation. Hey, I am mayor. I've got to appeal to people. This is the statement. I've got to project calm when there's been this sabotage of the Petrol. I've got to say
Right, but
this
he is
at a
doing
memorial.
it in the um, least genuine way.
Right.
In
No,
other
it is
words, he
very much
doesn't care. It
it's
is
coming
very
across
political.
it's
Yeah.
coming across more that this is from my head, not from my heart. I'm
Right,
saying this
right.
because this is the smart thing to say politically, not because I'm emotionally welled up at the tragedy that happened here in my city. Maybe it's been a week or whatever and that
Hmm.
emotional welling has gone down, but he is as much a political animal as Gimbal is. Gimbal has pulled out of the debate and
Well,
then
let's
OMG.
be clear
Oh,
about this. Let's
yeah,
be clear about this. He's as
be
much a
clear.
political animal as Gimbel's wife.
Dodie, I love you, girl.
Dodie. Yes, and so I'm sorry I interrupted you, but that reveal, holy cow, they
Oh my
co-opted the
Lord. Oh my
mayor's
Lord.
loser son. Holy cow, and he admits it. He's like, "Whoa!" The mayor's like, "Come on, why would you think that?" And the cop's like, "Well, here's the video, Your
You're
Lordship.
right. Oh my God. If you are the mayor, do you want your son in prison at this point? Like, what a buffoon. I want him in prison. I want
Put
him
him in
facing, I
jail."
mean, life. I mean, what an idiot destroying my political career.
Number one, put him in
And I
jail.
drive
Number
an
two,
electric car. Still throw this idiot in jail. I mean, good grief.
okay, first, throw him in
First,
jail.
yeah.
Second, have one of the other people in the prison cell with him shave his head.
I was worried you were going to say shiv him. Okay, but shave his
Oh,
head.
no,
That
no, just shave his head. Just shave his head. Make him look respectable. All right, Bubba. Well, that's the episode. So, of course, there's a couple more things to do,
Oh,
Governor.
we're not done yet? Wait a minute. Well,
No,
look at the
we've got
time.
so much more
Oh,
stuff. We've got Triple R.
triple R.
Roddy's raunchiness. I can't even say it. Let me try again.
One more time.
Triple R.
I'm pretty sure that stands for Rowdy Roddy's raunchiness.
You say it much better than I do. This is the weekly award for the most hostile.
Gospel.
Bubba, what is Roddy's raunchiness?
This is where he creates the most hostile workplace environment with
Got
his
it.
inappropriate comments. Now, we named it after Roddy in his
Hmm.
honor, but this could be anybody who creates an hostile workplace environment, occasionally by going a bit lewd. So, Catfish, let's hear it. What do you got?
All right, I've got three. Again, his whole monologue was fabulous, but as far as really being inappropriate,
Inappropriate.
once again I want to note here,
Sure.
all of these things I'm about to tell you are things that he said to the number two member of his organization that he works in. He
But he
said,
also said it
"Yep."
to a sexy older lady.
Well, that is also true. Yes, yes. So he says, first of all, he says, full disclosure, I'm a very sexual person. Thank you very much, Roddy. And then he says, Roddy by name, Ho by nature.
Oh, he's spitting
And
fire.
and then he says, describing what it's like being with him, it's like orgasmic vertigo or the bends.
Catfish, those are
Yeah.
incredible nominees you've chosen.
Okay.
Who are you going to pick?
I mean, a man has got to have a credo, but he's also got to have a motto. And Roddy by name, Ho by nature is a motto for sure. What about you, Bubba? Which one are you going with?
No,
Or off the
Catfish,
board?
I'm going off the board.
Always.
And for me, when you talk about hostile workplaces,
Hmm.
that's where people don't support each other. People don't agree, don't have your
Hmm.
back.
Got it.
And so for me, the winner this week, and I'm giving it the Tammy Wynette Award to Tara for standing by your man. Tara is standing by her man and not turning herself in to the dogs. Roddy doesn't want her arrested. And so Tara is respecting his wishes by not being arrested. She's turned off her phone. Now, I don't want to make any generalized comments, but when a young woman is willing to turn off her phone for you, that's love. And so Tara is my triple R winner of the week.
You know what's also love, Bubba, is when you're about to have a podcast and you're like, I'll just make something up on the spot. I don't
Wait,
need to
what?
come up with an answer ahead
What
of
are, what are you
time.
talking about?
All right, Bubba.
Do you hate Tammy Wynette?
Quiet in the court. Tick, 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 tick. All right. This week's Crown Court face-off. This show is better with River in a supporting role rather than a leading role.
Your Honor, you're saying that co-lead character
Discuss.
River Cartwright is better in a supporting role than
Oh,
in a...
I'm just offering it as something. Please debate with the far more handsome and esteemed Catfish.
Well, he hasn't come here, Your Honor. I've got this person I'm looking at. He's here, so I'll debate him. Your Honor, when you think about the key show through 4 seasons, River Cartwright a lot of times has more scenes than Jackson Lamb. He may not be the actor, Jack Lowden, may not be listed #1 in the credits, but he's #1 in the viewers' hearts. His struggle, his strain, the way he was framed in Not in the Park by his good friend in the very first episode by telling him false information, it led the viewers to have sympathy for River Cartwright. And yet, by season 4 coming around and him having his own storyline in France where he was disconnected from all the fun, it made the show a slog. And so, in some ways, here in season 5, the show is handcuffing River Cartwright to the slow horses, to his other slow horses like Co. And by doing that, it is better for the show. At a certain point, he is going to have to become the man of action. Maybe Co could join him and they would both become men of action. But for now, having him sit there and accept Jackson says we're going to do nothing, we do nothing. In some ways, that's character growth and it's better for the show. That is the position of the Crown.
Your Honor, I'm here to deliver a newspaper, but also I'll deliver my opinion since Catfish clearly isn't here. Our Bubba is clearly wrong about this. No one wants to see mopey River Cartwright. We had him enough last season. And as the Honorable Bubba said, last season wasn't as good. Why wasn't it as good, Your Honor? Well, it's as clear as the funnies in the newspaper. It was because there was too much mopey River Cartwright. And this year we've got humongous hoe, and he is bringing the goods, Your Honor. Let's put Mopey River to the side and have a little bit of everybody else, especially Roddy. I tip my cat to you, Governor. Enjoy the paper.
Your Honor, I didn't know we were going to have the actor who played Fagin from the Brighton Pier performance of Oliver Twist come in and do an accent so offensive that our downloads at the Barbican station have gone to none. Co has said, I never want to listen to a podcast again after that insulting voice work by someone who's supposed to be an actor.
Well then, constable, whatever you are, you clearly don't have enough legal training. We do allow urchins to speak in front of the court.
Urchins.
Solicitor Bubba. Urchins are always welcome at
Aren't
the court.
urchins young?
Yes.
This was
yes.
the
That newspaper boy was clearly young. You need to fix your glasses, solicitor. Tick. Why, we will let the listeners decide whether you're right or whether it was that charming, handsome young ragamuffin who came in here.
Your Honor, after that performance, I doubt we have any listeners left.
Charming ragamuffin, I say.
I'm from the north. I'm from the north of England, and I find that the offensive accent won't work up here.
Oh boy, get him out of the court. All right, that was a fabulous. I mean, you can either consider the opinions of the two solicitors,
Yeah.
and decide which one was correct,
Okay, sure.
American, or you can come up with your own reasons
Yeah.
why you agree or disagree with the statement. Please let us know. And Bubba, speaking of letting us know,
Yeah.
we've got some feedback from last
Oh,
week's podcast. Would you like to
ooh.
read the first one?
Our wonderful friend Harley Camille, and I call her Harley Camille. I'm pretty sure that was an old handle. She's now CamShay23. That's
Yeah, get with the present.
CamShay23 on Threads, which is a fun app which is tied to Instagram, which is tied to Facebook. Really fun. So if you're on Threads, be sure to follow our friend CamShay23. They wrote, the second episode was much better than the premiere episode of season 5. The episode had some great one-liners. The
Fabulous.
chase from Shirley. Ooh, it was frustrating because she didn't win. Why is she chasing the guy down without a weapon? Someone give Shirley a gun. Maybe if she's chasing him down and needs to fight, the hit of cocaine would have helped. No,
Boom. Take a quick
Camille. Oh,
break to amp up. All right, Bubba, I will
yeah,
read the second beat of
the
feedback
second.
and I am done. Guys, give us
What?
some feedback. YouTube, we're all done with our feedback. We
Well,
need our loyal listeners to
yes.
help with this podcast. Have you been listening to this podcast? We need help. Please give us some
That's
feedback
been the
so we can
consistent
read it.
message. Yeah.
It's either clinical, medical, or psychological. Ooh, but we'll take your comments so we can read them on the air. Bubba, next week, season 5, episode 4, missiles.
Ooh.
Flight sets out to find Roddy's girlfriend. Wow, that
Hmm.
word girlfriend is doing a lot there. The gang is dispatched to 2 different campaign events to prevent another attack. So,
Well,
Bubba,
yeah.
we will see both of us. Hopefully, we'll see that charming little urchin again on next week's episode of Slough
Slough
House.
House.
Will anyone want to take a newspaper?
That was where we used to sleep.
Slough House
There we go, urchins.
in the middle of our street.
Oh no. Oh no. UK downloads are blocked.